All right, we are back on the Andre Duke Show with Carter Smith. We got Richie today. Richie, how we doing, man?
We are doing good, Duke. How's it going? Friday Eve.
Yeah, Friday Eve. Can't complain at all. Just trying to get some games dialed up here for what we're about to talk about tonight. You know, there's got to be some college football on somewhere.
Oh yeah. I think we got a 7:30 kickoff here coming soon. ECU and the good old Golden Hurricane.
Yes. So we got Corey Dennis and Kevin Wilson, some fighting Gold Hurricane. We'll see if they can get a win tonight. But how's your week going, man?
It's been going good. Can't complain. We had a short week today with Veterans Day and everything on Monday, so it's going good. Week's going fast. I'm ready for Saturday.
Yep. We got a lot of stuff going on for this Saturday. We'll start it out with some stuff that we've seen on social media. Um, Caleb Williams has less yards than the punter this year. Are you shocked?
No, not by a long shot. Um, what's he got? How many yards has he got?
Per, what is that? Looks like 2,100 for the punter, and Caleb Williams only has 2,000.
There's a thing, being confident and being arrogant and just being plain stupid and showing up and looking like a fool.
Um,
Um, he's That's pretty sad when your punter's out punting you passing yards. Don't you agree?
yeah, but my expectations for the Bears this season were not very high. I've seen people bet them to make the playoffs. I just, for me, that is something that I don't think that I would have bet. I mean, I thought they were going to be a 4 or 5 win team at the beginning of the year. You just look at the other teams in their division. Are they a complete team like Minnesota? No. Are they anything resembling close to Detroit? No. Green Bay? No.
No.
So I wouldn't be shocked if Chicago picks in the top 10. Now, by Eberflus getting um, Eberflus getting Caleb Williams probably saves him a year on his job.
I would say that I think he's maybe got one more year in Chicago. Then after that, if it starts to go downhill fast next season, I wouldn't be shocked if they fire him mid-season.
I don't
If
know
they're
if the
if they're going like 2-6, it's the ship's already sailed with Eberflus. It's time to kind of hit restart on that.
Yeah, I'm just curious on how all of that is going to shake out. Personally, I think it's a very interesting endeavor that they got going on in Chicago, an interesting dynamic. I just don't see it being sustainable. But also, on a side note, the reason why you're going to get all the Ryan Day floating to Chicago, in my opinion, is it's going to be agents talking to media people, because Matt Eberflus and Ryan Day have the same agent.
Mm,
So when all the Bears stuff came up last year about linking Ryan Day to the Chicago Bears, that's where it was coming from. It's just his agent. It's his agent doing his job. So that is kind of the way it's looked at. But moving on, the Nebraska Nebraska has got an interesting endeavor. I seen this right before the show started. Um, the Board of Regents is going to meet to see if they can bury, or not bury people, but store ashes inside the stadium.
oh, that's that's different. I'm just now seeing this.
What do
I don't know, man. That's a little extreme.
I don't know if I find that very strange
Oh,
for
I
what
agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's really strange.
um now I could see like Cleveland Browns fans doing something like that, but Nebraska football, I get it. You know, you live in Nebraska, middle of nowhere. This is pretty much where, it's the central of middle America, and it is, in the complete, um, as the kids call it in Morgan Wallen, BFE. Um, so, yeah, I definitely don't know if I'm sure producer Ed would be into something like this, being a Browns fan. Uh,
Yeah, some of those Browns fans, they do have some crazy requests, for their final wishes.
that's just, well, you live a life of misery. What way would I want to spend the eternal the internal life in nothing more than in Memorial Stadium or in the Browns fans? Well, they're getting a new stadium, so
Yeah, the
but
Brooklyn Browns.
yes. But also moving on, I think we're not the only people that have expressed issue with the big noon kickoffs. Um, there are T-shirts that I've seen going around that say "Big Noon Kickoff sucks." The fans are obviously rejecting this. Uh, I just can't fathom any more of it because Fox needs to get this figured out because um, it's not working. See,
Oh my God.
big noon games suck.
Uh, you know, when Big Noon first debuted, I thought it was gonna blow ESPN out of the water, and it did for a while. Then ESPN somehow regrouped, and I think Fox they gotta like you said, they gotta figure something out quick because it might not it might not last long. They might have they do need to do need to do something. They do need to have the key marquee game played at night and
Well,
be on campus. Play Rutgers and Purdue at noon, not Ohio State and Penn State. Like those are your big draws, not those two teams.
if you listen to what Joe Klatt has to say, that Big Noon's always performed well. It's like, well, because they're not going up against any competition whatsoever.
Right.
All the competition is at 7:30 and 3:30.
Right. I mean, those are your key, prime time slots.
Yeah,
People,
it's
people might be, on Saturdays early up in the season. Kids might have soccer games, football games, might have other events going on. Like people, that's for those games like Penn State and Oregon or Oregon Penn State, something like that. They gotta be late. They gotta be 7:30 at night. They gotta
and
make it at night.
and here's another interesting tidbit. It's funny, me and Carter talked about Notre Dame earlier this week, and he was talking about the NBC contract. Well, Notre Dame's obviously uh, figured out the formula because Notre Dame's doing better numbers than I mean, it's one school and it's a large brand, but it's not doing Ohio State type numbers, but it's across the board. It's kicking Big Noon's ass, except everybody except Ohio State. Because if you take Ohio State off the Big Noon kickoff, what are you left with?
You're left with a mediocre football show. Is what you're left with.
And and like the game day shows, in my opinion, all kind of suck. I'm
Yeah.
not like Herb. Sorry, buddy, but like here we go again with this. But Herb, it seems like my camera's messed up, but anyway, we'll keep it moving and grooving until I guess the camera fizzles out or something. But yeah, big noon kickoff games, not very good. They kind of stink. Florida State, their 4-star recruit has decommitted. Producer Ed's going to get the graphic up. The Jones Jr. kid decommits, and this comes on the heels of them, getting rid of Alex Atkins and firing the DC. Like I just think it's not a good look at all for
when you start having kids recommitting somewhere else. And
he's taking a visit to Florida.
Oh, some salt in the wounds right there.
So, I believe he's going to be at Florida. Florida has a huge recruiting weekend going on this weekend. Him, the DJ Pickett kid that's committed to LSU, Naheem Alford, I believe, is going to be there. Is on threes reported, and this kid's going to be there. So, if I'm, another school out there and this kid's available, I think you should take a look at it, see if it's worth it. So, but yeah, just seeing some of that recruiting news out there today. We got a little bit of a rivalry / new Big 12 coming off of their hose down against the Mormons. Utah is taking on Carter. Portnoy's ready to throw a bag at him. Yeah. I guess we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah.
Utah taking on Colorado. What are your expectations for this?
I think Utah, they're going to be pretty salty from that BS call last weekend against BYU. I think they're going to come out and try to prove a point and try to maybe spoil Colorado's shot for the playoffs.
That is one thing that the Utes do like to do, is they do like to come out and play spoiler. That is a fact. So, Utah, I just think that I think we've got I just think that we got Shedeur Sanders. You have the Dion prime effect. It is, it's moving towards that. What say you, Richie?
With Shedeur?
Yeah. Does Shedeur go off, have a big game? Anything to
Shedeur, he's been pretty consistent with his play this year. I think he does go off this year. Or not this year, I'm sorry. This weekend against Utah, but I just, something in my gut is telling me Utah, they're still pissed from last weekend, and they will do whatever it takes to uproot Colorado's shot at getting into the playoff. We'll see. Buffalo's running game is not the greatest in the nation right now. Where are they at ranked nationally?
Oh, probably. I think they're somewhere mid
85.
Yeah, 85, somewhere in there. So with that game going down in the books, a game that I'm going to be at, it is the Clemson Tigers are on the road in the Steel City taking on the Pitt Panthers. Any expectations? Can Pat Narduzzi shut down the guy, Cade Klubnik, that's been underwhelming this year? What say you, Richie?
Yes. I think Pat Narduzzi gets it done Saturday. They, Duke, where'd you go? Left.
Sorry, I gotta. There's something's going on with this camera. About time to buy a new one.
Yeah. Let me get my.
But can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you.
But anyway,
Nard
Dog, yeah. Pat Narduzzi taking on Cade Klubnik. Although at times, Pitt's defense has looked good. I'm sure they wish they could play Kyle McCord every week.
I mean, who doesn't want to play Kyle McCord? When he throws throws a pick, 6 times a game and sacks himself at least twice.
Yeah, I mean, it's like playing Carter in one-on-one basketball. It's like that little meme in Space Jam. Whenever the kid runs up the thing and drops the ball in the hoop, the customer's always right. It's just, you should see Carter's jump shot sometime. It kind of looks like a busted wagon wheel.
Oh, I do need to see that.
Not good. Not good. Then we have the Tulane Green Wave taking on the Navy Midshipmen. What do we have here? I think Tulane is the best Group of 5 team in the country. Navy, they call me White Steph. Oh no,
I won't go that far.
But Tulane taking on Navy. What do we got here?
They got. Let me see what the line is.
I can pull that up.
6.5. 6.5. 73. They're saying Tulane 74%. I'm gonna have to go with them. Tulane. Give me Tulane.
I do like the Green Wave. Give me the Green Wave. I think the Green Wave win this one big, and I think they push for hopefully a Boise slip up, and we will have we'll maybe have some chaos.
Yeah, and chaos. That. What a weekend it would be! Another weekend full of chaos.
Well, everybody's saying this is a sleepy weekend.
I wouldn't sleep on it. Shit's gonna happen.
Yeah. And they're saying this weekend, next weekend's a sleepy weekend until we get the rivalry week. But I'm just saying, the 1 week that Tennessee went down, Tennessee went down to Arkansas. They were saying, "Oh, it's a sleepy weekend. The slate of games aren't that good." And it's like, well, there's a reason why they play the games. So we will check this out. But real quick, before we get to the topic du jour, we'll talk about the Friday night games a little bit, and then we will do the resume challenge with SMU and amongst some other teams. But if you're out there watching and you enjoy this show, please hit the like and subscribe button, and follow us on Apple Podcast, Spotify. We're trying to grow that avenue of it. We just did a live show at Cigar 30. Great people there, great drinks, great cigars. It was a good time. Me, Richie, and Carter were there. But if you're in the Canton area, just check out Cigar 30. Great place if you are looking to have a cigar and hang out for a little bit. TVs everywhere. It's a good time. So, Rich, with that being said, we'll turn the tide on to Friday night to see if any of these games move the needle for you. Wyoming taking on Colorado State, even though it's going to be like 5 degrees there. Colorado is 9.5-point favorites over the Wyoming Cowboys. Are you tuning in to the Wyoming Cowboys in Colorado State? 8 p.m. kick.
Well, Wyoming's averaging 21.6 a game. Colorado State, what do they got? They're getting 23.6 points a game. So that might be a solid defensive battle on a Friday night fight, dude.
It might be all right. Carter is in the chat talking about Sideshow Bob. Carter is clearly probably watching The Simpsons while he's watching our show. North Texas Green Wave taking on the UTSA Roadrunners. Does that do anything for you?
North Texas. Which conference they in? Whack.
No. North Texas is in the American, I do believe.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's an American showdown. North Texas and UTSA are both in the American.
I mean, I'll probably have all three games. That game, the Wyoming game, on with the multi-view tomorrow night. Flipping, just keeping an eye on what's happening. Do I really get up excited for it?
It's football.
It's football. I'll take it. We only get 6-7 months of the year, and the rest of it's torture. So I will watch it. Maybe I might do like a 25 leg parlay and see if I can hit some money this week. Do $1.
Yeah, we are not gambling experts. UCLA travels up to Seattle, Washington to take on
the Washington Huskies.
The Washington Huskies. The UCLA Bruins are 4-5. Washington is 5-5. Both 3-4 in the conference. This is the potential to be a big game. It would pull Deshaun Foster within one game of being bowl eligible, and it would make Jeb Fish bowl eligible. I kind of like UCLA in this one.
I'm kind of going with Washington. I give them the slight edge, averaging 21.8 points per game.
We shall see on that one.
Passing offense, they're
a little
pretty good. I'd say average, mid-level.
Yeah, and then we've got the last game of the night. We have the Houston Cougars traveling to Tucson, Arizona to take on the Arizona Wildcats. This Wildcats defense isn't particularly Desert Swarm. The days of Teddy Bruschi, Fafila, and McMillan have had a great year. This year, Fafila's throwing a lot of picks. I just feel like we are to the point to where Arizona just completely underwhelmed. I thought, Jed Fish had them going in the right direction. Arizona just did not fulfill it as they needed to, and it was definitely they were just pretty much down and out. And I like Houston here. I think that's why this line is so close. The Cougs, on the road, they could go in and steal another one. And if they steal one more, Willie Fritz in year one and the Houston Cougars could be bowl eligible with one of the – and he has a bad roster.
Bad roster and, offense isn't the greatest.
So
they're giving up, they're scoring 15.2 points per game while their defense is giving up 22 points a game.
Yes.
It's they can sneak one. More power to them.
So, since we ran through Friday's games and we got some time now, let's run through this SMU resume comparison because I feel like SMU is getting vastly disrespected on this whole can of it. But if you look at SMU's 14 ranked win Louisville by 7 on the road, Next best win, they beat Pitt by 23. Pitt is 7-3 or 7-2. Third best win is Duke at 7-3 on the road. Their only loss is by 3 at home to BYU. You go down the list a little bit, and then you have Texas, which is 8-1. Ranked win, they don't have one.
No.
Texas's best win is Vanderbilt this year. Their next best win is a bad Oklahoma team, and they lost to Georgia by 15 at home. So, and then you scroll down to Penn State, which has one of the worst resumes here. No ranked wins. They beat 6-3 Illinois by 14. Their next best win is Wisconsin by 15 and lost by 7 at home to Ohio State.
The Ohio State loss should have been more, but that pick 6 should never happen, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Penn State, man, that's pretty awful.
And
pretty bad. They don't have a ranked win against anybody. I mean, they even struggled against Bowling Green this year. Remember that early up?
Yes. So when looking at the resumes, if you remove the names, now is that not a kind of a slap in SMU's face?
Oh, I think so.
Because I don't know.
I mean, because they beat a ranked team on the road. Doesn't matter if they were top 5, top 15. They were in the top 25. They went into their house and they beat them by a touchdown, by a possession.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Texas, who got, I mean, their best one's Vandy. I mean, Vanderbilt, really? That's your best win, and your worst loss is getting your head kicked in by Georgia.
And the Georgia, well, it should have been more. Yeah. Notre Dame did beat Louisville by 7, and Louisville's got a win against Clemson in the fight in Sweeney. So I look at the resume.
For me, I think you got to put SMU in. I think they're the better team.
I think you got to put SMU in, and I think you got to put Georgia in, and I'm thinking the committee is praying for somebody to lose, because let's say everything shakes out, Texas, goes to the SEC championship game and they lose. What seeding does that give them? And SMU's got to win out to get the ACC automatic bid.
Yep.
That is the problem. Because I think, the Big 12 and the ACC are one-bid conferences, so it makes it tough, but I get the committee's feeling on it, but I mean, it's hard to leave out Indiana because Indiana's undefeated until, what. I mean, we're going to find out exactly what Indiana is when they play Ohio State. So
yeah, we're going to see if they're worth their salt or not.
So that is something that goes into it. But Penn State, I mean, their best win is Illinois and Wisconsin, 2 inept teams on offense.
Well, that's James Franklin for you.
I just,
I can't get over the fact that you're going to put in a Penn State team and snub an SMU team who's beaten Louisville on the road by 7. There's just the committee. That's why they expanded it, so there wouldn't be any discussion. But of course, there's always going to be discussion. That makes great conversation.
Yeah, Carter chimes in that Penn State's best win is a loss by 7. So
It's true.
it just to me it's mind-boggling that Penn State is 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ohio State's the only reason Penn State is in the conversation, really, to even say this. And I'm gonna say, I think for as good as Sark is at Texas, like there's something going on with the quarterback thing. I can't. I'm not gonna leave that angle alone. It's not that I don't think he doesn't have it figured out. I just feel like he wants to play Arch Manning.
I think he does too. I think if they don't make the playoffs, he's gonna really push Quinn to go to the draft, so he can get rocking and rolling with Arch. That's what I think. That's what I mean. He's gonna try and force him out to be like, hey, just go to the NFL, Quinn. You're at least a late first, early second, maybe, depending on how he plays the rest of the year.
Well, I mean, a little bit for me is, and I think, Quinn's been underwhelming at times this year, and also Drew Aller's been very underwhelming. I know,
Very, very underwhelming. Yep.
I know him and Quinn Ewers. I mean, Sark obviously throws the ball more, but it's definitely a big contrast. And I get it, Arch or not Arch, but I get it. Quinn Ewers got hurt this year, but I just don't think that's an excuse.
No.
Because if Quinn would have won the Georgia game, I think the narrative is different. But
the narrative would have completely shifted. They'd be talking Heisman with him.
And he was one of the front runners. Him and Carson Beck were.
Right.
I think Mexican Manziel also has a worthy shot of. I mean, it would have helped if they would have won against Texas, but Pavia had the whole thing going on too. So it's just, I feel like it's just one of those deals that that we got rolling here, and I just can't believe that that is something that we got going. And Beck definitely yeah, I'd like to know where Nick Saban is right now too. But if you look at the SEC quarterbacks as a whole, Quinn's like he's top 5, but would you take Jackson Dart over Quinn Ewers?
I would.
Garrett Nussmeier over Quinn Ewers?
No, I take Quinn.
I think that the problem with Nussmeier is that he's a first-year starter, and I think that plays a big role on why I wouldn't take him.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Milroe over Quinn Ewers.
Jalen Milroe has flashes of being great. I think he just panics too much. He's kind of like Baker. He panics too much, and he just takes off and runs or makes a stupid decision. He's a good college quarterback, I think. But I don't see him being a pro quarterback. I see him being a running back or a wide receiver come next year. Can he throw? Oh, he can throw. I mean, if he's got all day, but if I were a GM, I wouldn't worry about trying to draft him. turning him into something because he could be like Tebow.
I think he throws it a lot better than Tim Tebow.
I don't know. Sometimes he's just so inaccurate. When
Quinn
he's
Ewers,
rushed like that, when Milrose rushed like that, I think he's very shoddy.
yeah, I just feel like that he is definitely lacking, but I just can't believe that there is there's that big of a fall off in between SEC quarterbacks.
Right.
Because it seems like you have 2 or 3 good ones, and then it is a long way down.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Here's a wild stat. Do you know who leads the ACC in touchdown passes?
Klubnik.
Nope. Cam Ward, 32.
Cam Ward.
Miami.
Yep.
I think, somebody that's had a sneaky good year that nobody's really talking about is Malik Murphy, the USC transfer at Duke. Not, being a first-year starter, not the greatest year, but I just feel like Malik Murphy's had a little bit more of a decent year than what people have wanted to give him credit for. But, ever since SMU made the change at quarterback, I feel like that they're a completely different team. They're more together as far as that goes. But I'm trying to pull up the team defensive stats if it will let me, but it is being a pain in the ass right now. But
where did Malik Murphy play before? He was at USC. He wasn't anywhere else.
yeah, he was at USC.
He was just straight out. He's just at USC. Okay.
So I guess we'll circle back full regalia here. I think there's a couple of teams that SMU shouldn't be ranked higher than, but I just think it's disrespectful as hell to keep them out of the playoffs, and the same thing with Georgia. I mean, Georgia has a head-to-head win against Georgia has a head-to-head win against Texas, and Texas is still third.
Yeah, I still can't believe Texas is third either.
And I
mean, their resumes is just not. It's not impressive. Versus SMU's. I mean, why?
also
Same record. 8-1. If they really wanted to shake things up and make things interesting, you put SMU and swap them with Texas. But they won't do that because SMU's in the ACC and
they're trying
Texas
to claim. They're doing the whole brand recognition thing.
Yep.
Here is a interesting. We have breaking news. Apparently, Billy Napier just broke the news that DJ Lagway is going to start Saturday versus SMU.
Oh, Carter's going to be happy.
I know. We got a comment here, David Williams. Both SMU and UGA can play their way in by winning. Yeah, that's true. But Texas has nobody left except A&M.
That game is at A&M, isn't it?
Yes, it's at Kyle Field. And I feel like that if Texas drops that game to A&M, could they find their way out of the playoff?
They could. They really could. They wouldn't be going to Atlanta, I'll tell you that, for the SEC.
Because to me, I just feel like like they have to go down there and they gotta beat Texas A&M convincingly to me
Right.
to say that this team is for real, because you could beat up on the Louisiana Monroes. Shout out Warhawks, Brian Vincent doing great things there, and you can beat up on Colorado State, Jay Norvell, who probably going to go play for a Mountain West championship. So we'll see, but you know, I just feel like Rhett Lashley, and for all the people that are going to be circling the speculation on Rhett Lashley, um, let's remember SMU raised $150 million in 6 months for NIL. Um, College football to me is changing very, very much. I think the name on the helmet is meaning less and less, opposed to what type of resources do you got. Now, for the college football playoff, does the name on the side of the helmet matter? Yeah. Um, Penn State, I don't know what they're going to do, because I heard some grumblings that Penn State might try to do try to move on from James Franklin, and I don't think that that's a wise idea.
I think they go after Matt Campbell.
David here. Guys, there are so many games left that will eliminate teams. The biggest issue, the SEC. Yeah, the problem the problem I have with it is the super conferences, because there's so many damn teams in these leagues that they don't play each other.
No.
Because Clemson doesn't play Miami, and I don't think they play SMU this year at all. And the Big Ten, for years the rotation and then the SEC had the divisions, because if you were if you were South Carolina, you were always guaranteed to play Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would have a couple crossover games. The crossover games were the big issue, because they would go in rotation. Because whenever it was the leaders, they would have six or five or six. I'm trying to think of how they did that. It was six. When they had 14 teams, it was 7 and 7. They had 6 division games, and then you would play 2 crossover games, and it was normally they lumped them together.
Yeah.
Like you would play Nebraska, Minnesota, Ohio State would, and then they would play Northwestern, Purdue, something of like a combination like that. But I think for me, for the eye test, I think SMU is the closest thing that's going to give Miami a run for the money. And a lot of people are downing BYU. I'm gonna hold off on that, just for the simple fact of BYU can only play who's on their schedule, and
Right. Yeah, you can only play who's the cards you're dealt and how well you play them.
and I feel like there's an overwhelming majority that wants Colorado in the playoff, which for as far as the TV thing goes, you know what, that's great. You want to parade Dion out there, and the whole circus is coming to town. It's
Well,
it's
if they put Colorado in, they're gonna it's gonna be big ratings. Big people are gonna be tuning in to see what Dion does. Because that's Dion. That's always been Dion.
yeah. The only thing I don't want the Colorado program to do is I don't want, if they're ready to make the playoffs, then put them in. But if they're not ready, to where like if they lose another game, they're out.
Right.
I'm just reading this on Twitter. The 1870 Society. What is going on there? This is the official tweet from 1870 Society. We are excited to announce the NIL Rivalry Raise, a fundraising competition designated to raise viable NIL resources for our Ohio State and Michigan athletes. Take home exclusive signed memorabilia, win ultimate football fan experience for the game, and support local charities and more. So 1870 is partnering with Michigan.
Wait. What?
Yeah. They're partnering with Michigan.
So are they going to get some of their NIL money? That's the dumbest thing. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You're gonna be
co-fundraising.
Co-fundraising with your rival?
Yeah.
What? I mean, I thought I saw everything, but damn, fundraising with your rival. That's a new one. That is a new one. What they gonna do is get a coin toss and see who takes home the most.
I think that's very, very strange. I think our guy. I'm gonna have to talk to Carter about this at some point in time because he'll probably know a little bit more living down in Columbus. But that is just really, really strange. 1870. What are you doing? This is Jerry Emick in charge of 1870?
Ugh. Is Jerry Emick getting fired yet?
I don't know. Will Howard and Dylan Gabriel have their stat line is pretty much the same, and he has no Heisman consideration. Also, there is another.
Not even for JJ. No consideration for him for the Blitnikoff Award.
Nope.
Best freshman there is, besides him and Ryan Williams, and he's been outperforming Ryan Williams, I think. Not to sound like a homer or anything, but I mean it's the tape's right there.
I think it's neck and neck, but they're two different. Their skill sets to me are two different receivers.
Well, the nerds are going to be voting based off the stats. They're like, well, he had this many points per game, and this, that, and the other. Yeah.
Oh, also we had another game kickoff. Grambling in Alabama A&M, I believe.
Oh man, I've been waiting all day for that game.
Has been.
I turned the Thursday night game on right now. What do I got?
It's Commanders and who?
Philly.
Yikes.
Commanders should have won last week.
No, they shouldn't have.
Yeah, they should have.
They didn't score more points. That's why they didn't win.
I know that. I know. I was watching the end of it. Damn offsides.
It was fantastic. I can't say that I'm upset about that, but plugging back into this game, East Carolina has a lead. They're up 7-3, taking on the Golden Hurricane in Tulsa. Eastern Carolina, ever since they fired their coach, has relatively turned things around. You hate to see anybody get fired, but sometimes a different voice, a different cohort leadership is a good thing. So yeah, they're driving on Tulsa right now. So here we go again with this. Yeah, and I agree with your comment there, Rich. Mike Tomlin is probably one of the top coaches in the league.
I mean, I've only known two Steeler coaches in my entire life: Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin. That's it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's consistency right there. That just goes to show you how their franchises ran, how well they get the players in, how well their scouting department is. I mean, as much as people around here can't stand the Steelers, they've had the same coach for what is it, 18 years?
yeah. Tomlin's been there. Oh my gosh. Uh, Tomlin's been there a long time. Um, I guess on the before we wrap this up, Rich, you want to tell them about the live show coming up?
So the next live show, everybody, is on December 7th at Cigarro Lounge in Hubbard, Ohio. Carter, myself, and Mr. Duke will be there live in person. So come on out. We're hitting up another cigar joint. Going to try to, spread, holiday cheer and football cheer to the masses on December 7th on Conference Championship Saturday.
Yeah, that is going to be another great time. First live show we had to put some equipment together. Didn't really get to get that rolling, but producer Ed is going to work on the graphic overnight. He is going to have it produced. God dang, this camera. Producer Ed is going to have that figured out by tomorrow. So we will be good to go. So yeah, we have that rolling. Any final thoughts before we get ready to wrap this thing up, Rich?
No, I don't have anything right now. It's just kind of the wait and see how everything plays out this weekend for the college football and what they'll do with the rankings come next week.
Um, one of the big things that I will take a little bit of time here on is do not let SMU get hot. And when it comes to this,
Why is that? Why not let him get hot?
don't let them get hot and get in that playoff because I think SMU can make some noise. I feel like that this playoff is going to be like an NFL playoff because the Giants got hot in 2007 and nobody thought the Giants were going to beat anybody, and what happened?
Yeah, I mean they played Tampa week 1. They played Tampa that wild card round and beat them, and
And
that
that's
was the rest was history.
and that was the end of John Gruden in Tampa.
No, Gruden got fired the year after.
Or well, that was one of the catalysts.
That was their last real playoff appearance.
Outside of the Brady and Arians things.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got it. I think that if as the fans out there watch this, it's like if you don't believe us, go look at SMU's schedule, look at Texas's schedule, and look at Penn State, and take the helmets out of it and tell me what you find. Producer Ed back there munching on some pizza out of the fridge. Jeez, this guy
man, he's eating some pork rinds and having some Hawaiian punch.
I mean, I do just because producer Ed, you got a raise doesn't mean you can be getting Cheeto dust all over the keyboard. All right. So, but yeah, with that being said, Rich, is there any big college football game that you're looking forward to outside of Tennessee, in Ohio State, Tennessee, Georgia, and the Ohio State game? Is there anybody else that you're wanting to keep an eye on?
I think the Clemson Pitt game is going to be one to watch.
And I will be there, which is going to be glorious.
You got a big weekend ahead of you.
Yeah, we're going to the Penguin game. We're going to the Penguin game that night too, so it's going to be a long day.
Oh man, you better drink some C4, Duke.
Yes.
Don't want you falling asleep in the seats, you know.
Yeah. Commanders Eagles. If I'm a betting man, I don't know exactly what the line is or was. I would. Yeah, let's go Pins. That's right. Yes, let's go Pins. Yeah. So I would probably take the Commanders. I think the Commanders are the better team. Got the better.
I like Jane Daniels. I mean, that kid. He's blown my expectations this year. I mean, I knew he was going to be good. I feel like he would be the better quarterback out of this draft class, and he's proven it so far.
Yeah, the draft class and Anthony Richardson, they're Carter. Anthony Richardson, that whole debacle, I guess they're putting that sideshow back on the tracks. The game that I have circled is Arkansas, Texas. Do not let don't let them call the Hogs now on you.
Nah, Texas will be fine.
I mean,
Quinn's gonna throw 4. Not you, Quinn. The other Quinn. Sorry, I got my Quinn down here. She's watching football and drinking her shake. Quinn will probably throw five touchdowns, 350 yards, no problem.
Are we gonna develop a Richie Williams kiss of death on this show?
We might. I think we should. We should need to start keeping track.
Because I don't know. I have an eyeball on that. I mean, Notre Dame plays Virginia. That's going to be real exciting. Woo. Is Sidney Crosby still alive? That's funny, Carter.
Is he?
Yes. I'm pretty sure Carter and Sidney Crosby are the same age, so those in glass houses shall not throw stones. LSU, Florida.
Oh, LSU.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, Tigers.
Man, you're really rolling the Tiger bait. I'm taking Florida.
Give me the Bayou Bengals.
The frauds that are Missouri versus South Carolina, the best 6-3 team.
Who?
The Drinkowitzes, the Missouri Tigers, the biggest frauds in the nation.
Oh, I thought you said frogs. I'm like, frogs? What the fuck are you saying, frog?
No, horned frogs.
Yeah, dude. He's a fraud. I'll take them over I'll take whoever's playing them any day of the week.
Gig 'em. Yeah, also, Carter did try out to be this is breaking news. Carter confided to B and Richie over the weekend that he did try out to be a yell leader at Texas A&M. He was not accepted into their cult. He was a white overall guy. I mean, what can I say? He tried out. There's pictures.
We got the proof, people. We got the proof. You got photos. You got nothing, but we got the photos.
We have the photos, and Carter's got to pay ransom for those. But Tennessee, Georgia, who do you got? Last thing before we go.
I got Tennessee. I'm gonna go.
Really?
Tennessee. I'm going Tennessee.
With a concussed Nico, give me Sid from Ice Age. Carter back there talking mess. Give me Carson Beck. The guy has got to redeem himself somehow. I don't think there's any redeeming quality, but we shall see. But I guess that's where we'll end it. With that being said, Richie, you got anything else before we go?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right. With that being said, everybody have a good night. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. All right. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify, PodBean, TikTok, Instagram. Even we have a Facebook page that I have not put anything on yet. Because does anybody really
still use
Facebook? That's under 50 years old? No offense. But and also in the comments, if you made it this far in the video, tell us where you're watching from. We get the analytics and just curious to see. So with that being said, everybody have a good night.
Peace.